Yes, in my previous video, we have just explored about the images, how can we insert images in our web pages, and I told you the importance of the table creation, right? So in this video, let's explore about the concept of forms. So how can we create forms? So what is the importance why should we create a form? What is the importance for creating a form? These things we will discuss, and the topics that we discuss in this form creation. First of all, let's understand the structure of a form creation, and then second, we go to the text input. What is the importance of the input tag, right? So once we are done with that, we will go to the password and comments. How can we give the permission for the end user to enter their password, and if they want to write any comments, right? So how can we make that such type of comment box? How can we create? And implementing different types of radio buttons are there. So we'll implement checkboxes, drop down list, right? So once we are done with that, next we will go to the how can we give a permission to the user to upload their files. Files may be different types like PDFs, right? So such type of files, it might be some text file or something else, right? Different types of files we have. So how can they upload those files? We will do that also. And after that, we will go to the how can we create the submit button, right? So understanding about the image button, submit button, when they click on the submit, so what action it should be performed, this thing we will discuss here. And the submit button can be shown as image also. So different types of images also we can place them and we can show, right? So so this submit button, by using the image, it will look somewhat beautiful also. So after that, grouping the elements, next form and validation, and at last we cover the email and URL input and search input. These things also we will cover, these all things, right? So let's start with the first one, form structure. Before understanding the form structure, let's see, first of all, let's see about the form controls. In the form controls, we have different things here: adding text, making choices, submitting forms. Adding text means text input like password input and text area, and making choices like radio buttons, check boxes, and drop down boxes. Submitting forms like submit buttons, image buttons, and upload files, right? So now let's understand about the form structure. Now let's understand the form structure. What do you mean by form structure? The form controls live inside a form tag element, right? So this element should always carry the action attribute. So this action is an attribute in the form, within the form, okay? And we'll usually have two types of methods we have actually. One is get, and another one is post. We will see in detail about those things also. And what is the importance of the ID? ID stands for identification of that particular okay. This ID attribute stands for the identification purpose, right? So coming to the action, right? In the form we have a attribute called, as we have discussed here, in the form we have a attribute called action. What this will do, this action attribute, it means that every every form tag will have by default we will have this action attribute. We will mention URL in this action attribute, so server can understand, okay, this details where it should be sent, right? So once the end user click on this this uploading some page files or something else, where it should go, it will be written in this action URL, right? So action attribute related to this server. So the server understands, okay, this input should be taken from here to, and it should be placed at the right position, right place, right? So right? So every every form element requires an action attribute. Its value in the URL for the page of the server that will receive the information in the form when it is submitted. Okay, so this is about the action attribute, what it will do. So server will receive the information in the form when it is submitted, right? So server can understand if where it should be the information needs to get saved, right? So next, coming to the method, forms can send using one of two methods. One is get method and another one is post method. We have two types of methods, right? Get and post. How this get method and post method will work, let's understand. See, first of all, get method, it will work like when we want to retrieve information from the server. Okay, retrieve information from the server, from the server, then this get method will work, right? And post method will work like if you want to upload any files, or if you want to send some information to the server, so at that time this post method will work. Okay, so sending the information to the server, so okay, at that time this post method will be used. So get and post. Now I hope you understand. Let me show with the example of diagram also, then it will be understandable in better way. So let me increase this size. See, assume that this is a server and this is your here the client is there, right? So get method will retrieve the information from the server. Okay, get will receive the information from the server. This is the get method. Okay, and how exactly the post method will work opposite, right? So post method will by using this method we can send some details into the server, and those details will be processed by using the programming languages like C sharp, right? And or else PHP, or else Python, or else you can take Java, like that. The different types of programming languages will do the process to the with the server, right? So the get method will retrieve the information, and the post method we use to send the information to the server, right? So that is the importance of the get and the post. Now, understanding about the text input example. Input tag, this input tag element is used to create several different form controls. The value of the type attribute determines what kind of input they will be creating, right? So input type, different types we have: text, right, or else check boxes like radio buttons, like different types of inputs, or else it might be email, right? Different types of input types we have. When the type attribute, this is type is also attribute, right? So has a value of text, it creates a single line text input. Okay, so name, this is also related to this server. Why this is this name attribute also. So when we use this name attribute, when user enters some information into a form, right, the server needs to know which form control each piece of data was entered into. For example, in a login form, the server needs to know that uh, what has been entered as the username and what has been given as the password. Therefore, each form control requires a name attribute. The value of this attribute identifies the form control and is sent along with the information they enter to the server. Let's understand this particular type. First of all, let's open our Edit Plus, because we are going to do all the programs here only, right? So I'm creating one new HTML page, right? I am leaving these all things as default. I already covered these all things in my previous videos. So now let's go further. And let me tell you the importance of these things. Now let's discuss. See, let's understand about the here the form action. See, as I told you, every form action, every form tag contains this action attribute. So here the action is a attribute, and here the URL is there, right? So once I will explain you about the label. Label, what it will do, the label will create. Let me write here. This label tag here, it will create relation relationship between relationship with with the input tag. Okay, it will create relationship between input tag. Okay, so that's the reason we will mention label. Mentioning the paragraph tag is it will not create any relation. Instead of label, you can write, you can put there this paragraph tag, but it is meaningless, right? So that's the reason we will put this label. We need to use this label tag. Okay, so and for is again here the attribute, this for is, and whatever the id value we are putting here, the same thing we need to mention in the for attribute, so that it will create a relationship between the label and tag and the input tag. Okay, input tag, right? So this label tag, it will create relationship between the input tag. Now let's now in the label I am passing here some information like username, right? And first we don't create any label. First we will create this input type, right? And id attribute and name. And let me remove this size, we don't need for now here. Okay, and max length, these all things are not necessary, right? So okay, let me remove this also. So here the paragraph tag is there. No need, this paragraph tag also I am removing from here. Just there is a form opening tag and the form closing tag. In between I have only input type is equals to text, and id I am having here as the username, and name username. So these both, as a developer, when you are going to develop a web page, this id attribute, what value you need to pass here, that thing you need to know. Knowing for yourself is okay, mandatory, right? So but this id no need to know for the end user what you have written here, right? So name, as I told you the importance of the name, right? When because this name means the server will understand, right? The enter the data where it should be saved, right? So server needs to know what has to be entered as a username, so the data will be going into that particular path, right? So this label tag here, it will create relationship between relationship with the input tag, right? So let me run the code. See, see for form, there is a open tag form action, and this action is attribute, right? So this is the URL, and we have in first we are creating one input tag, and I'm passing the attributes. One is type attribute, id attribute, and name attribute. That's it, right? So click on let me save this. Go to file, click on save as. Let me give some name here from example, right? So click on save, click on s. Now let's go to the location, open with Google Chrome. So now you can see here there is a box. So I can write here some text into this box, right? So but there is no message, right? So end user will not understand what he needs to enter here. The text, what type of text he need to enter here. So for example, let's take here, I want to enter my username. I want to take username from the end user. Okay, so I'm creating one paragraph tag and username. I'm mentioning here username. Right, again I'm closing the paragraph tag. Again I'm going to save this one and go to the browser. Just refresh. So now you can see there is a username. After the username, I'm having a tag here. Now the end user will understand so that he need to enter his name, right? So in this way you can use the paragraph tag, but I told you in previous, right, using this paragraph tag, it will never create a relation between the input and this paragraph. Instead of paragraph, we need to go for the label tag. So I am creating a label tag here, and the label tag opening, and for is the attribute, and whatever the ID you have given here, the value, that value should be entered in the for attribute, right? So once you're done with that, you can uh, enclose this tag, label tag, and after that I am writing here enter user name again, right? So again closing of the label tag. Okay, now see, click on save here and go to the browser, just refresh. See, now properly the relation created this between this both the tags, input tag and the label tag. This is how the correct method is this one only, right? So you can give some text here, it will take the input, right? So this is the importance of the first step. Now we understand about the form creation, right? So how to take text from the end user, right, by using this input tag. Now you know the importance of the label tag. So label tag is used to create relation between the input and this for this input tag, right? So now you know the ID attribute and name attribute. So name, whatever you put in the name, right, so it will understand by this server, right? So these two things will be so name and value also you can mention. So if you mention the value also, that thing also, it will be for the server only, right? So next coming to the password input, right? So now I want to ask end user to enter their password. So in the form action, as common, as I told you before, right, this URL is common. Now in the paragraph tag, again here some paragraph is tag is there. We are putting some username, mentioning here username, and input type as text. Type is attribute here, type as also text, and name, username, and this size 15 inches. This is by default, but we can manage in the HTML5, right? These size and match length, these sizes can be, it is not recommended to use these sizes and match length. We can manage these things by using these CSS, right? So it is not recommended to use here. Okay, now here the paragraph tag, closing tag is there. Again we are creating one more tag, one more input type and password. Now we have changed the type. Here the type is there as text, right? So type is there as text. Now here type is there as password. As I told you, the input tag type attribute contains different types, right? Like radio buttons, text input, file upload, like different types will be there, email, right? Different types will be there. Here now we are going to see about the password and name, password, and this is the size and closing of the form tag. Let's do some modification in this form also. Let me create will create proper form tag. Now see, form action, there is some URL might be anything that whatever the server is holding, right? So in the paragraph, now in the place of paragraph, as I told you, it should be label here. So let's create a label again here, label tag, right? Label, and for attribute we need to use every label contains the for attribute, and in the for attribute I am mentioning here, see, in the input type text is there, but here ID is not there. So let's add ID equals to text, right? Text, I am again mentioning here text. anything you can mention. As a developer, you need to understand what you need to enter here, right? So in the for also I am again I'm mentioning text here, and again I am closing the this label tag, right? Again here in the label, after closing the label tag, right? So here I am entering some text which it should be shown to the end user. Enter, right? Enter your name. Let me enter like enter your name, and I am closing the label tag once again. Now it will, now it is created the proper relationship between the input type and the this label, right? So let me remove these all sort of things. I don't need these things. Okay. Now type is there, ID little bit is there, name is there, right? So at the end this paragraph tag is also not necessary for me, right? I don't need that. And here also I do the same. For the password I am going to open one more label tag here also for equals to, and the password I am giving here as let me take here pass. Let me write here pass. Whatever we need to we write here in the ID also we need to mention the same thing, right? Here also I am mentioning here pass. Okay. Name and size also again here also I am removing the extra part, right? Let me remove these things as well from here. Now you can see now let me close this one, and let me write here enter your password. Okay. Now it will create a proper relationship between these two tags, okay, label and input. Now let me remove the paragraph ending tag, right? So the form is ready. Opening tag, form for form closing tag is there, and I have in between I have one input tag that which the end user will understand that he need to enter his name, and at one place he will understand that he need to enter his password, right? Let me save this and see the output now. See, now you can see it is asking to enter name and it is asking to enter password. In the name, if you write text, it will take. But in the password, if you write something, the browser will by default it will not shown the characters which the end user is going to get inserted, because this field is a password, so there will be some security right concern, so it will not be shown. Now okay, now I don't want this enter password after this text name, right? Name, after the name I don't want this password. I want this enter your password name to be shown as in the down, right? So what we can do below the username, I want to put this password field, right? So at that point what I can do, I can go for the break tag. What it will do, break tag you already know, it will do line breaking. So BR again. So break tag is self-closing tag, right? So again BR I can use two. I am going to use this break tag for 2 times. So again I am going to save this, and if I go to the browser, just refresh. Now you can see exactly I have managed after my text have created the password tag. So in this way you can manage tags, right? So by using the break tag, right? So now let's go to the now I hope you understand about the password input field and this text also. Now let's understand about the comments, right? Let's see the comment session. So how can we create comments means, see, if you go to any web page, there it will ask at last to enter some comments in their pages. So we can also create our own pages, right? So like comment session, comment box. So how can we do that? So it's very simple. See, you can see here, this is the common thing which we have discussed earlier. Now here there is a paragraph tag. In the place of paragraph we use label. I am going to modify this thing also from here, and in the text area name, we have given the tag as here text area, and name here mention the comments, right? So we can put the ID as well, right? So and the number of columns and rows have been given, and enter your comments. Let's explore this part also. Let me show you. Let me remove the form tag from here. Let me save this, and right. So here I am mentioning the paragraph tag, right? So it's not the input tag, right? So it's a text area. So it's not a good scenario to create a label tag here. So let it remain same as paragraph tag only. Now let me save this one and go to the browser. Just refresh it. See, now you can see that because see what did you think of this week. So this type of comment boxes, now you can enter your comments whatever you want, you can put it here. Now by default when you observe, it is showing some text message within this comment section, because we did not enter anything but it is showing some text, right? So how it is that happening means, see here, you can see here, in enter your comments we have passed some message already, so that thing will be shown in this, that's the reason it is showing you in that comment box, okay, comment section, okay. So you can do some modifications if you want. If you change the rows, number of rows to 10, it will be increased vertically because rows, right? So here the columns means it will expand horizontally. Now let me save this and go to the browser and just refresh. See, horizontally and this now vertically the size was increased. This box size was increased, right? So okay, like that you can manage, okay, your comment box. Now anyway we will explore this much about in we will discuss much about the CSS and Bootstrap. So how beautifully we can design and develop our comment session, comment tag. It means that, let me show you this text area tag, right? Whatever the end users want to write the comments, right? So we will explore more in depth at that point. Now let's go to the next implementation, that is radio buttons. So the radio buttons, when you see here we have used the paragraph tag is common, right? So we are using here some break tag. Now input type I am giving here, this type attribute I am giving here as radio. So name attribute is there and the value attribute is there. So checked. Now let me explain you about this thing. What exactly happening here? So let's understand. See, you already know about the first tag, that is the form action. So what this action attribute will do, right, related to the server side, this action attribute will work. Now this is the paragraph tag. I don't want this paragraph tag. So anyways I will remove this one. Now in the paragraph place I will put some label related to input tag, right? So now let me put here one, apply some label. Before that let's see understand about this input type also. Now let me remove. Now see, input type we are given as radio. Now this name and the value will be work for this server, and checked means what? It means checked. This checked attribute means by default automatically the particular value, the particular checkbox will automatically get selected, right? So that is the importance of this checked, okay. So these radio buttons, how they work means, see, when you let me implement it first, let me then only you can understand this one. So let me mention here some id pass attribute like id attribute, and let me pass here radio as well, okay. So let me mention here some label tag, opening tag, and for attribute I am using here, and here also I am mentioning here again whatever the id is holding the value, the same thing I am mentioning here, okay. Right, so right, so let me write down here, okay. Please see this one about Okay, let me copy this one. Please select your favorite genre. Right, let me go here and paste the same details. Now I am closing the label tag here. Okay, so opening tag is there and the closing tag for the label is also there. Now input type radio and ID radio, name genre and value and check, right. So let me give the same thing. Okay, enough, that's fine. Now when we go down, input type radio, name genre, value pop, okay. Uh-huh, it's okay. Input type radio again, name genre and value jazz, okay. Right, right, okay. Okay, let me execute this one. Now let's see the output, what it will come. Then we will do some modifications as per our requirement. So inside the body, I am going to remove this form page and form tag, and I have inserted this new thing. And click on save. Go to the browser, just refresh. Okay, now it is properly working. Okay, everything is good. Now see, there is I have given here the label tag, right. So label tag will create a relationship between the input tag, right, with the help of with the input tag. Now see, radio means when I choose first option, the second option will get automatically disabled. If I select second option, the first option will automatically get disabled. Same thing will happen in the third, right. So, but by default, is the importance of the checked. Checked means, see, automatically when you observe there, automatically the rock was by default it was selected, right? That is the importance of checked. So when you run your code, so by default what happens here, in the if you have we have mentioned here, right. See, check, what we need to check value rock and right. So that check box will be selected for the rock, so not for the pop and jazz. If I refresh again, see, automatically the radio button, this button implementation, by default it is going to select the rock only. If I again type jazz, again if I refresh once the my page, and it will be by default it is going to select this rock, right. So this check, if I try, let me do some modification here, else I will understand better. Now let me mention here, let me remove checker here, let me remove checker here. Now let me put checker here, okay, for the pop, okay. Checker equals to, okay. Now let me write here, okay, okay. Now let me save this, okay. Now go to the browser, just refresh. See, by default the pop was selected. Now if I select rock now, again do I do refresh, it is going to select pop by default. So this is how the check will work. So by default it will going to select one option, okay. Now let's see the next thing. So now you understand about this radio button. Now let's go to the check boxes. So check boxes, how it will work. Let me show you the implementation first. Then I will explain you. Let me remove this by default form tags. Now let me save this and go to the browser. Just refresh. See, now you can see how this is going to get implemented. Now please select a favorite music services. Here you can see different types of checkboxes. See, checkboxes main thing, when you want to give your end user to select multiple boxes, then you can use this option. If I select this one, now the first checkbox is not getting disabled. It is still there. If I can choose the third option also. So like this, unlimited checkboxes you can create for them, and it means that multiple options when they want to choose, you can implement such type of things, okay. So you can implement this checkbox. So here now let's understand about the code. Now see, You can create a label tag for this also, for input, create the relationship between this one and this one, right? So now I am leaving this one because I already shown you how to create a establish a relationship between this input and tag and this label tag. Okay, now I am leaving this one. You already know it, right? So input type is checkbox, name, service, values, and checker. Checked means just now we have explored how it will work, because by default in our page, if I refresh it, by default it is selected iTunes only, right? So input type checkbox again. So name as service and value as Spotify, right? So these things, now you understand about the importance of checkbox. So importance of checkbox is when you want to give your end user multiple options to choose, at that time you can implement this as checkbox. Let me write down here for better understanding. So what is the importance of the radio button? So radio button by default, if you want to give your user to choose one option, okay, to choose one option, at that point you can go for radio, okay, radio implementation button, okay. Now the checkbox importance of the checkbox is when when multiple options you want to select, multiple options want, uh, let me write like user wants to select, okay, select multiple options, at that point we can go for this checkbox, this method, okay, this tab, let me write down here, this type, okay. So this is the importance of the radio button and this is the importance of the checkbox, okay. Now just a second. Right. So that is the importance, how that is the importance of this another type, that is checkbox. So let's move forward. Now let's understand about the drop down list. How can we create a drop down list? So there is one more code here, right? See, this is the code. You already know about this first thing, and see here one paragraph tag is there, and select name, devices, options, iPod, okay, radio, value as radio, again here computer, right? So and again a closing of the this select tag. So here the opening tag for the select is there, and the closing of the select is there, select tag, right? So select tag is having some attribute called name, right? So and it is having some options also in between these tags. In this in between the select tag we have some options. So and the option tag is holding some attribute again, right? So let me implement it now, then we can explore this thing also. Now let me in the form, let me remove this thing in the body, and let me put this one, and click on save, go to the browser, just refresh it. See how this is going to work. Is such type of things when you want to create drop down list, so you need to go for the this select option select tag. Okay, so select tag will have some attribute, that is name. You need to mention here, we have in this case by default it was mentioned here devices, but in your case you might be give something else in the place of this thing, and the option tag should be there and value should be the attribute here, and what you need to mention. So this value will not, let me do some modification also from here. See, if I change this iPod to some XYZ, okay. So now let me save this. Now let's go to the browser, just refresh. See, now the value was, see, the end user can able to see XYZ in the place of, right, this iPods, right. So see, this thing, whatever you mention here, this thing will be shown to the, this thing can be viewed by the end user, but the value which you enter here, it will be under it will not be shown to the end user. So there will be no changes if you change here at that front part, the page, in the page you will not able to see any changes. You can see changes only if you change something here. Okay, so this is the option closing tag and this is the option value opening tag. Okay, same thing radio computer like this. Okay, so next let's move forward. So now you understand how to create the drop down list. Now multiple select box. Now multiple select box, see here, these things we already explored, right. So you can select more than one option by holding down control on a PC or command key on a Mac. So here also the drop down list will be created, but in this drop down list, let me refresh it once. See, if I select one option, see, another option is not getting selected. See, I am holding my control button in my laptop, I am holding control button in my keyboard, but I want to choose here multiple options, but I cannot able to choose multiple options. But here you can select multiple select box. Okay, see how it is possible. See, select tag is opened again here, right. So I will close here the select tag, right. So name here, we have mentioned some value as instruments and the size multiple. We need to use this one, this attribute. When you want to select multiple multiple drop down list, right. So at that time you need to pass attribute called multiple. At that point only, after passing it, you need to hold control, right. So you can select one or more option by holding what, control button on your keyboard or else command key for the Mac users while selecting different options. So in that way only we can achieve this type of functionality. Let me remove this thing, alright, for this one for explanation. Okay, anyways, let me implement it and show you this part also. So in the form type, let me remove these things. Let me put this one, but let me remove this thing from here. Now click on save, go to the browser, just refresh. See, now it will be shown you like this. Now I can select multiple options. See, first option I have selected guitar. Now if I want to choose drums, see, I am holding the control button from my keyboard and I am choosing multiple options here. See, every option got selected. So in this way you can use this multiple attribute. So here the attribute which we need to use is this multiple. Okay, so that is the importance of the, this is how we can create the multiple see this drop down list by using the attribute called a multiple attribute. Okay, now okay, so next, how can you give permission to your users to upload their files, right. So at that point, see, input type as file, you need to type should be at that point the file. Okay, So name some value here which you need to enter. So name can be anything, and we have passed here some break tag, right? So no need to go with this one also. You can mention like this here. Okay, and input type submit and value as upload. Okay, so when you create such type of tag, right, like this, they can easily upload anything, right? So let me remove this from here and put here, right? So action attribute is there, and method. See here we are using the method. Post means already we have discussed. Post means something that we want to send to the server. At that time we need to use this method called post. So what we are doing here, we are uploading some file here. So uh, the sensitive information should only pass it to the server, like passwords, usernames, right? So important data like that. It might be, see, we are uploading some files, right? Text documents, anything. It might be anything. So at that point we are using here the post, right? So click on save and go to the browser, just refresh. See, now it is asking to choose file and upload, right? So it will be sent to the server once you done and clicking on the upload, right? So this way, if you choose this, click on this choose file, it will ask from where you want to upload the file, right? So it will ask like that. So that is the importance of these tags. So if you having any doubt regarding questions or something else, I will upload these all things in my description also. You can try it with yourself, right? So if you are having any doubts also, you can mention in the comment section. So I will try to answer your questions, right? I will solve your queries also. Okay. So next, let's move to the next type, that is submit button. So submit button will once what happens if we choose type as submit, right? So the submit button, when the users done with the creating submitting their details, they need to perform some action. If they click on the submit button, at what page they need to get redirected, or else if you want to send some message to your end user, thank you for submitting your details, we will get back you soon, such type of things when you want to achieve, so you can use this input type as text and this submit. Okay, so let me quickly show you how it will also work, and let me go to the body session, and let me put this one, click on save and go to the refresh here. Now you can see subscribe to my email list now. So let me enter my channel, right? Multi-tag channel. Okay, so now click on subscribe. Now it will go to the particular, right, page where you want to get redirected, right? So in this way you can, and you can do some colorful buttons also you can create, right? So or else you can put in this place you can put some text also, like, sorry, images also. This subscribe button, if you want to download some image, you can download some image from the Google, and you can place that type of images here to look beautifully for your end user, so they can see that type of coloring, right? So let's explore that part also. Now see, image button. For subscribe button I want to put some image, right? So first of all, what we need to do, we need to download that subscribe button from the Google. So let me go to the Google and let me type here subscribe button JPG. Okay. Now you can see here there are a lot of images here it is showing. Let me choose the first option and let me download this thing first of all. Save images, save at what location? Wherever the source code is there, at same location you need to put this image also. So file type, let me mention here file subscribe dot png, png. Okay, so save as type should be all files. Click on save. Now go to your let me copy this code. In the body, let me do some modifications here. So this is the images folder. Here it is showing that src. We already discussed about this src also. Okay, let me create one folder here. Let me create one new folder. um, it is good practice to put all your images in the separate folder. So now I am creating here one folder called images. Now I am sending this png file into this images folder. So there is a some file here, png file already, it's available. Now let me see the code whether I can do some modification for this or not. So input type name, okay, that's fine, and input type image, okay, src, okay, and the folder name, that is images. What we have created, we also created images, but here I need to do some modifications. Okay, let me put here images and subscribe, right? What is jpg? Now it is not jpg, ours is png, right? png. Now let me go into this and subscribe. Yes is missing here, right? So let me remove this one. Right, let's put this one. Okay, and width and height you can manage here, or by using css also you can do that. Let me save the code and go to the browser, just refresh. Now you can see, so there is some image it is showing. Let me do some modifications. I can increase the height. Okay, let me increase some, decrease the width and increase the height 80. Let me put height as 50. Now let me save it and go to the browser, just refresh. See, now you can see the image, right? So in this way you can create some beautiful subscribe buttons right from the images also. So this is how this image button, right? Importance of this image button. Now I hope you understand, right? So next moving to the, so this is about the GIF. I will leave put in this thing in the description. You can explore the same way as this image. You can add some GIFs also, GIF images also, right? So next, grouping form elements. So we can group the form elements like label, see, like text, email, text. Now email, mobile, and type here text is that here also text, name, email. See, different types of things are there. So we can all together we can club them, right? So let me show you. See, let me remove the this form. Let me put this one. See, contact details, email, mobile, telephone, right? So we can club all these things at one place. Now how it will look like? Once I go to the browser. But how it is going to work? It is working with this legend, opening tag, and a closing tag. And see, this legend will be the normal tag for this field set. So you need to use this first tag called as field set. Opening tag is there and the closing tag. When you use this tag, it will club all these things into one part. Okay, so this will be the header, right? This legend will be the heading. It will show me. It will be shown to you as a heading. Now let me save this. Now go to the browser, just refresh it. See, now see, contact details, email, phone number, and these are telephone number, something like that. Okay, so this is the importance of the grouping form elements. Okay, now at last the validation. This is very important. So validation, how we can validate? See, when the end user is going to enter his password, right? So the password length should be some few characters. It should be taken, or it should accept some characters, or it should accept some digits, right? Special characters like that. You can restrict your user, your users, right? So one important thing that you need to consider here required, right? This attribute is very important for the form validation. What it will do, this required attribute means, see, when the user is going to enter, without entering, he is going to click on submit, means this required attribute will restrict him to enter some details. So it will show some message, please enter, this field is mandatory, like that it will restrict the user. Let me show you, for example, let me go with this one. See, these all things we have explored or anyhow. The only thing newly we are seeing is the attribute called required. Okay, so now click on save and go to the browser, just refresh it. See, now if I type some name here and I'm entering some password, if I don't enter any password, if I click on submit, what happens? See, it is not going to accept. If I type some password and click on submit, now it is going to accept. Why? Because it is, this field is mandatory, because you can see in the code, see in the code for the input type text, text also there is required. See, without, if I don't enter text, if I remove this one, let me remove this one, required attribute here. Okay, just a second. Just a moment. Okay, so let me remove from the password also this required attribute. Now click on save and go to the browser, just refresh. See, now if I enter some text here, if I enter some password here, see, now it will, again it will be accepted. If I don't enter anything also it will be accepted, because I have removed the required attribute. So this is how we can do some validations by using that attribute called required, and we can as I told you before, we can restrict the users to enter some details, like it's mandatory to enter these special characters, or else the password length should be 8 to 10 characters, right? At least one uppercase should be used. Like that we can restrict them. So that is the importance of the form validation. Anyhow, we will discuss much in detail in this CSS once I will touch the topic. At that time also I will tell you about this thing. So email and URL, this thing is very easy, right? So there is some form action attribute is there, and the changing the type simply. What we are going to do here is the type that we are going to change. Based on the type, the browser is going to work. So these tags, anyways, we have the main thing in the form creation, how the input we need to keep in mind this tag, input tag, right, and the value, name, right, these things also you need to keep in mind, and you can need to use id attribute also. So what is the purpose of id, and what is the purpose of the label tag? If you know these things, this will be very the changing the types is very easy. When you want to put some username, that type should be text, or password means type should be some password, right? So different types will be there. Based on your requirements, we choose different types of methods here. So the nothing is going to change here except the type we are mentioning here as email, and submit is common, and type, and type as submit. So let's see, let me show you this thing as well. uh, Let me go to the body session. Now click on save and go to the browser, just refresh it. See, and this way it will work. Okay, so this is about the search input. For search input, this is the best example. When you go to Google, and if I go to Google, now if I go to Google and if I search something here, so in the same way this thing also works here. You can give your end user to search for something. If they want to search something, you can create such type of tags here. So type, just we are changing the type, again type attribute equals to search, and submit. Okay, here also type search and here also submit. Okay, so in this way let me show you this one. And what, there is some importance here. One important thing which I did not explain you in prior. See, the placeholder is also very important. So how the placeholder will work means. So let me write down here. This is very important. Okay. So placeholder. Okay. So how it will work the placeholder? So it will give some hint. Okay, it will give some hint. Okay, hint message to users to what they need to what users what they need to enter. Okay, what they need to enter. Okay, so it will give some hint message. Okay, it will give some hint message. Let me show you practically this thing, then you will understand it better. So let me go to the this note edit plus. Now let me remove these all things. I don't need these all things. Let me put some create new form page here. Click on save and go to the browser. Just refresh our page once. See, for first search box there is no placeholder. In the second search box, see, there is a placeholder. In the placeholder in our code, I have written here. See, first search box, first input type, there is no placeholder. Second field is having type attribute, name attribute, and one more attribute, that is placeholder. At that point, I have written here some text message, enter keyword, right? So let me change the placeholder. So let me mention here something like HTML. Okay, now let me click on save, right? Click on save and go to the browser, just refresh it. See, now the hint message was showing it is HTML, right? So in this way it will show some hint messages to the end users. Okay, so this way it will work. Now at last I have created one form to show you. Okay, let me show you this one also. Let me remove all these things. Simple form page. Okay, so these are all things we already know. So option, what it will do, different options it will show you. We will write different options. Now what we are going to give here, implementing the radio button here, type as checkbox is there, submit. Okay, click on save this one and go to the browser, just refresh it. Now you can see how it is going to look like. See, so here we are what we are doing in the first part, right? See what we are doing here, we have passed a field set, right? So opening tag is there, closing tag is there for the field set. So that's the reason we can see here for name and email they are grouped together. And again one more field set was used for review before. So you can see there, see at that point also, see field set is opening tag is there and closing tag somewhere at below it will be there. So these are all tags which are between them, they will also get grouped. So see like drop down box, right? Drop down box like radio buttons or comment session. So these are all things also. Okay, so that's all for this video, and in my next video we'll discuss few things. How can we upload our videos, or how can we manage our videos, those things we will discuss if time permits. I will go to the next video will start CSS also. Okay, so thank you for watching my video, and please do subscribe to my channel if you find my videos are going to help you out. Okay, thank you all, bye, have a